Big Philly fan here. I really like the movie Invincible. I think it's a really fun movie, an inspiring true story behind the Vince Papale as he tried out for the Eagles in an open tryout in the 70s and successfully became a rookie for the Eagles that year. A couple of weird things about it. I think I want to get into that today. The first thing is the open tryout sequences. In real life, the Philadelphia Bell hosted an open tryout, and Vince Papale tried out and made the Philadelphia Bell. After the Philadelphia Bell experience that Vince had, he was then invited to a special open invitational tryout where they invited people from all sorts of occupations to try out for the Eagles. Disney used the Philadelphia Bell open tryouts as the inspiration for the open tryout sequences for the Eagles in this movie. I'm still kind of confused as to whether that tryout for the Eagles was open or some sort of extended invitational tryout. The next thing is, when Vince Papale is still trying out for the Eagles, getting through the rounds of tryouts after being recruited from the open tryout, his teammates are rather mean to him. They kind of push him aside, they kind of bully him to an extent. I'm wondering how true that is, whether his teammates at a professional level would really be that unprofessional towards him. Maybe some of it, or most of it, or even all of it is fictionalized to Disney up the movie. Not that there's a problem with Disneying up anything. I think Disneying up something is a very positive term to describe any story, because Disney's great. If it is true, maybe that explains why the Eagles were having bad seasons around then, because players couldn't even respect each other. The third thing that I think is the weirdest thing is the fictionalization of Janet, Vince Papale's love interest for the movie. The big fictionalization is that Janet is a Giants fan in the movie. Now, I had to do some reading and research afterwards because I had to ask myself, was Janet really a Giants fan? Did Vince Papale really marry a Giants fan? And from the interviews that Vince Papale gave after the movie, he said that no, Janet was not a Giants fan. Janet was fictionalized as a Giants fan for the purpose of the movie. In real life, Vince Papale would never date a Giants fan, as he said, and Janet has always been an Eagles fan. The reasoning behind Janet being a Giants fan for the movie was to add some humorous story elements to the mix, to draw audiences of a different crowd to it and get different perspectives on the humorous aspects of the picture. It is kind of humorous that Vince would fall for a Giants fan in the movie, and it's kind of humorous to see her rooting for the Giants at the end of the movie, and then at the same time rooting for Vince to do well in the game. Me being a Temple fan, I certainly have that when former Temple players get drafted to different teams, and then when they come to play the Eagles, I want those former Temple players to do well in the games, even though I still want the Eagles to win. It wasn't necessary. I think we could have still seen Janet as an Eagles fan for the movie, and not have that weird subplot of her being a Giants fan. The movie's still really great. Obviously not a perfect picture, but that tells a good inspirational story. Definitely see Invincible, it's nice, and with the Eagles game against the Giants coming up, go Eagles!